next number of weeks, a run through Hyrule with everything all amiss.
That's right, we got Keysanity seeds going all month long and beyond then. What Keysanity? Whoa, hold on, we got boots in Sanctuary. All right.
We have action straight away.
That's going to be great.
Those boots are going to help with a lot of mobility, and they are going to take full advantage of that.
Absolutely. We got some early checks going. We've got Solski and Dylan basically doing your early uncle checks, and you've got walkingeye and Zelga going through North Hyrule at the moment.
Yep, hitting up the bonk rocks on those two. Let's see what we find in Uncle's chest. His Solski makes his way there first. Just a good old Eastern burrito. It looks like Zelga is going for the Houlihan route, trying to pick up some early cash.
That's pretty smart. Now, as I was saying before, Boots jumped into me. What we've got is a Keysanity seed, which means that in addition to all your regular items, you're going to have maps, you're going to have keys, you're going to have compasses, you're going to have big keys shuffled into the rotation. So they could be anywhere. Anywhere in the map is accessible. So they'll be looking for everything they need to complete the target mission, which is kill Ganon. So it'll be very interesting to see what shows up where.
Yes, and indeed, some of that requirement can be money. The bottle vendor over in Kakariko, the King Zora up in Zora's domain, those require money. Those could have anything. Right now we're seeing a bunch of pieces of heart like walkingeye just obtained. We've seen a few heart containers. Good stuff to get that health built up early on. Make sure you can handle some of the sequence breaking that does make the game a bit more difficult.
Absolutely, and zelgadissan is going from a Houlihan room to check bombs under South Grove, which is smart because you never know if you're going to pick up bombs, which will help you get into race game and clear out well and Blind's Hut, which gives you access to several.
Yep, and there is always the opportunity to simply purchase bombs. Zelga would have the money, but finding those bombs can be much faster, and who knows, you might need that cash for something else. And we see walkingeye finding one of the keys to Skull Woods, Solski picking up the bug net, along with Dylan doing the same. You never know when that will come in handy.
Absolutely, bug net, great tool on Ganon. Oh, we've got Hammer at Race. I completely missed that on Zelga's screen.
Yeah, so did I. So Boots plus Hammer, that is going to open up a good number of spots. And of course, the Hammer puts us one step closer to Darkworld access. We'll just need some mitts to clean that up.
Hey, Castle Power key on library.
Yeah, possibly useful, possibly not. We shall see.
Now, Solski checking Blind's Hut, which is a great early play. Kakariko is where you're going to want to go in early randomizer seeds and Keysanity. Oh, sword right in Blind's Hut for exactly that reason sometimes. But there's a great dense collection of chests that will help you. And now Solski doesn't have bombs, so unfortunately he can't check that last one. He's going to have to dip out, get bombs, and come back.
And Dylan finding a similar situation over in the well, although he didn't get as lucky to find a sword.
Absolutely, that's the give and take for different strategies in the early game, especially in Keysanity when there's less opportunities for bomb drops in these first chests.
And again, more pieces of heart found this time by Zelga and walkingeye just before that. There are, I believe, 24 of those throughout the run, though correct me if I'm wrong, but Zelga finding a red cane.
There he is.
So we're finding some very useful, very important items very quickly. Speaking of important items, Zelga finding the mitts.
Inching closer to that Darkworld access. We've got pretty much everything except for that Moon Pearl.
Indeed, and there are routes through this game that involve going to the Dark World without the Moon Pearl, but very unlikely and very rare. I have a feeling we'll be finding the Moon Pearl not too long from now.
Yeah, and that walking eye has bombs, so he's going to be able to check that back chest in blinds. So we'll get to find out what's there. So far, though, besides Dark World access being obvious in Kakariko, nothing, as far as keys go, we're kind of scattered all over the place.
That is
there
true.
it is. Moon Pearl in the back of blinds. We are good to go to Dark World in 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Very quick. Indeed, they could go straight from here to the village of outcasts if they so choose. Don't even have to leave the neighborhood.
And really, as a runner, you want to see things like that, because the more you can group together chest checks, the better you are, because you can go straight into Village of Outcasts, Skull Woods.
Since this is Keysanity, we don't actually know, do they need to go to Skullwoods? Do they need to go to Thieves Town? That's the sort of information that we receive only when we find the map. And to my knowledge, we haven't seen those maps yet.
We had one map for, I believe, Eastern, but that's about it. Those will show up, so you oftentimes will go in blind. No pun intended.
It's Thieves Town. Pun is intended. Zelgadissan taking a little bit of foolishness with the Master Sword fake out.
Going for a fake Master Sword strats over there.
And now we have Solski and DarkDyllon making their way through the race, so they are going to pick up the hammer in just a few seconds. Certainly fewer than 15, that's all they get in the race.
Walking Eye, meanwhile, is going to check the back of Escape there. He's got the boots, he got the gloves, so he can make a quick check there.
And it looks like Desert Palace is a crystal.
Ooh, Ice Rod, back of Escape. That could come in handy if Turok is needed. Zelga going straight for Skull Woods here.
Yes, it seems like we had actually a vanilla key for Walking Eye. That does happen. That certainly can happen, and everything is everywhere. And when that does happen, you won't see a notice on the screen saying this is a small key to wherever. It won't tell you.
But some of our runners here are pretty good at dark rooms, so we've got Solski and Walking Eye both diving into the back there. Check that one chest.
And DarkDyllon taking a dive of his own and paying off as the bow is in the dam. So we are definitely seeing a lot of interesting and valuable items very early.
Which is great, but sometimes you don't want to see, oh, we got a big key as well there. Sometimes you don't want to see too many items so quickly, because you know at some point you're going to get trolled.
Oh, absolutely. And there is a certain advantage to having few key items, few important items, because it really tells you what direction to head. If you have too many options, you might end up making the wrong one, costing yourself a bit of time.
And we're finding Compass in the Escape, so that dark room didn't pay off, though. That was good execution on Walking Eye.
Absolutely, and Solski doing the same. And we have DarkDyllon over in Mini Moldorm, finding loads of money. And a little bit of love. And a Ganon's Tower small key. Good to gather those early. Walking Eye improving their funding situation just a little bit. Solski using the bomb strat on the escape basement to make his way in.
And we've got a mirror over in the C-shaped room in Thieves Town.
So Zelga's early Dark World play really paying off. Not seeing the ice rod that the others have seen, but mirror might be more useful.
It could be if he wants to. He can dark room into Silver's right into.
Oh,
wow!
Nice.
That's just incredible how much they're getting so early.
That is. Now Zelga hasn't found the bow yet. Hasn't gone to Dam. But those silvers are essential, and because they are the last essential item, they can be anywhere. We'll be saying that a lot, but the silver arrows in particular.
We've got a pendant on Eastern there. I couldn't see if it was green or red or blue.
We'll see if DarkDyllon interrogates the Hospital and find out at least where the green one is.
Okay, and Big Key and Turtle Rock in the back of Sarashalala's cave over in Dylan's screen.
Oh, no, Hera has the green pendant. Oh, and Thieves Town apparently has flippers. That's quite the find for Zelga. And Ether.
Oh, this is wild seed. Oh my god. So it looks like with all four runners, it doesn't matter what direction you're going. You're finding progression. You're finding good items.
Absolutely. Zelga just picking up bombos as well. And a Master Sword.
Wow. So Thieves Town, Master Sword, Flippers, and Ether to Medallion.
Thieves Town living up to its name with all the good stuff that they have clearly stolen from other locations.
So zelgadissan moving up to North Thieves Town, Dark World, might be looking to go up to Death Mountain with all he's got. Or not.
It certainly would be possible.
We are definitely teasing an early Turtle Rock play, though, with Big Key, Cane of Samaria, and those two medallions. While DarkDyllon is already dipping into Eastern, another good early play, good condensation of items there, and if you can do Dark Room, you've got the whole first four open to you.
Absolutely, and it's an easy one to double dip if necessary. And Solski doesn't really need those flippers. He's gonna dive in anyway. And go visit our good friend Bridge Guy. And a blue tunic for Zelga. Nice little bit of defense.
Oh, Dylan's checking that big chest without the key. That's okay though, he can come back to it. It's not going to make too much time difference.
Zelga finally hitting up the back of Escape, getting the ice rod. I don't believe we've seen anyone do the front portion of Escape.
Yeah, no, we've got 3 chests down there that could have some progression for them, but no one's made the dive in there yet. Though with this abundance of items, you're sort of almost paralyzed by the options, but all 4 runners doing 4 different things and paying off.
Absolutely.
Now Solski's fake flippers is allowing him to check the 2. He's activating that glitch that allows him to switch into walk mode. If he does touch anything, though, it will knock him back into the water, so he's going to be careful trying to make his way up to Zora.
Not much on Zora's ledge, but it's entirely possible Zora has something. Although at this rate, without how many progression items we've seen so quickly, it's starting to look like not very many high-value plays left. Just find your next step.
And we do know that Turtle Rock is one of the 5 and 6 crystals, so that may be an indication to check it early, or it could be a troll.
It is not above key sanity to troll our runners.
Bombs on old Stumpy.
I do believe I just saw zelgadissan giving up a shield. Unless I'm seeing things wrong.
We got our first hype cave check over on Solski. First up, just bombs. Let's see what's in the back here. Ruby, heart piece. Ooh, big key too. Skull Woods. And another sword upgrade. Okay, so we know where 3 sword upgrades are, so there'll be no problem. Tempered should be coming up for all the rest of the runners.
Good amount of offense to have if they do have to hit Turtle Rock early.
Also good to have blue and tempered sword early, just because they have not found too many heart upgrades. So running at 4 and 5, 6 over on Dyllon's screen, but definitely good if you aren't too confident in your strats.
Zelga digging up a map and then heading on back to the Light World. While Solski checks Pyramid Ledge to find a big key. And it's Desert. Now, I believe we saw that Desert was a crystal, although I could be misremembering. Yeah, Solski and Walking Eye each have a bottle, so they can go visit Sick Kid at their leisure. Yep, Zelga already up to Tempered Sword.
And Solski hitting that catfish check early, which is very difficult for a lot of runners to route in just because of how far out of the way it is. And paying off this seed, well, goodness, what are we watching? Ganon!
The big key to Ganon's!
Wow!
Oh my!
That could be a problem if a lot of runners don't like checking catfish until they absolutely have to. So unless they make some quick checks up there, they may be in for a troll.
And this is one of the beauties of Keysanity. We look right now, might look at the item tracker and say, hey, Zelgan has a pretty solid lead. But Zelgan never bothers to check catfish. You never know, DarkDyllon could sweep right past.
Absolutely.
Very hard to see who's really in the lead.
That's the truest thing with Keysanity. You may think you have a lead, but without being able to check everything, then you're stuck looking for that one key or that one item to get you.
Now we have Walking Eye making the pass through Eastern as well. Solski in the neighborhood, maybe right behind. For chat asking, the hammer was on the race. And I guess see Walking Eye doing the Dark Room in Eastern. Once you've played these dungeons enough, you start to remember how those Dark Rooms look. You don't even need the lamp to worry about them. And DarkDyllon giving us a nice little hammer dash. making his way over to the pyramid ledge.
And Zelga looks to be using that cave for some extra cash so he can pick up Zora on his way back. Very smart to so you always want to know those backup locations for rupees just in case, especially in Keysanity with an early Zora check.
Absolutely, it is easy to find a location and hit 100, 200 rupees, but that's not always guaranteed. Or in Solski's case, 50. Yes, looks like Dylan is about to hit Catfish and make a nice little discovery. And we have a mushroom on the Lake Hylia Island. Could come in handy, might not.
Sometimes you get caught up in the fetch quests, but we got Walking Eye over there doing the first dip into Castle.
Yep, nothing vital so far. Still 2 locations to go, though. But on Zelga's side, we're about to see what the Zora has for us.
I believe it was a $500 bottle.
Must have missed it.
Solski going back to check Sick Kid. Turns into a heart piece, giving him a little love.
It looks like Solski might be making their way into Thieves Town. Might go to visit Skull Woods as well.
Yeah, that would be a good play. It's stacked as we know, and he's definitely gonna feel like perhaps he should have checked it and not necessitated the need for that fake flipper. But it's always good to check in when you get items so quick like this, and you know your opponent is looking at the same set of items. You sometimes start to worry that they've made decisions and they've made different routing options. So they're all trying to play as tight and concise as possible.
Absolutely, and being able to do those little tricks like fake flipper or bomb jumps that we'll very likely see later, those little tricks, those little advantages, help clearing things out, keep things moving smooth. Don't have to worry quite so much about finding the flippers if you can just make them irrelevant for a moment.
Absolutely, but still a good trick to learn just in case. Add a couple of locations to your earlier checks if your seats don't happen to be as generous.
And DarkDyllon doing one of those nice bomb jumps, or at least getting the setup arranged.
Some of those bomb jumps will get you. They are very precise at times, so it can be difficult to line that up. We've got a pendant on Skull, and we have the crystal on Ice.
Yeah, when we were speaking about bomb jumps, the one in Palace of Darkness is dangerously precise. And DarkDyllon falling to the bomb jump attempt in Skull Woods. That's the sort of cost, that's the sort of risk that you take when doing these.
There we
And
go.
there we go.
Oh, good. My Misery Mire key, big key. That's going to pay off. That's good.
Yeah, I don't believe we've seen... Have we seen that was a Misery Mire was a crystal? I believe we have.
Yes, I believe so. I believe we're looking at a crystal down in Misery.
Alright, so that was a good get for Dylan. And Zelga making her way through the Hyrule Castle basement.
Yeah, so our runners are basically going over each other's steps, making sure they're not missing anything. While that action did start pretty quick, I do want to give a quick shout out to our wonderful trackers, Walter4 and Nifboy. They've been working hard trying to keep up with all of the action we've seen so far, all the items and keys and big keys we've seen picked up. So give them a follow, that'd be great.
Yes, it is an especially tricky job on this run. Yes, Zell has picked up the mushroom off the island, taking advantage of that. We'll see when and possibly if he bothers to return it to the witches. That is one of those plays that can be difficult to route in, and for only one item, not always worth the payoff.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to have if you're going up to check catfish. You can do a mirror and check right there, but several of our runners already making that check, then sometimes you wonder if anyone's gonna risk it. You might see that later on if we're missing one kind of nagging item.
Or if the run continues to be a little tight with the hearts, we might find people going and buying potions just for that extra bit of safety. And then, hey, while we're here, might as well turn in a mushroom.
Absolutely, nothing wrong with the safety items. And we got Solski doing race game. That's usually a good pickup in Keysanity, but let's see what he gets now. Got a map. All right.
Not even gonna bother.
Oh, we've got Silvers. Wonderful. I think I missed Silver's pickup. And Zelga going straight into Aghanim's tower.
Yep, Zelga has one key. I believe that's all you need to check the two chests that are in here.
Though he does not have a
And of
fire
course, if
rod
you're
or
doing-
lantern, so he's without a light source. But getting Quake on the first chest, making a good play.
Yeah, the silvers, for those asking in chat, they are in the village. So now, no matter what medallions we need for Meyer and T-Rock, Zelga is all set.
Though we can't reach Mire or Desert just yet, and according to the logic, we cannot access Death Mountain, so there's a whole treasure trove up there we haven't even begun to look at. We're still missing, technically, Lamp and or Flute.
That is correct. The logic does require one of those to get up there, either just the flute or Lamp with level 1 gloves. Of course, if you have the gloves but no Lamp, you can figure out your way up. It's just a little trickier and does create a sequence break. Yes, dark rooms are only relevant for the lamp. Fire Rod does count as a source of fire for things like Tower of Hera Basement, but in terms of dark rooms being accessible, the game just expects lamp.
Zelga's going to be very happy with this catfish play.
Very happy. So we're still seeing an awful lot of progression. Solski finding blue tunic. What we're not seeing is dungeon completion yet.
Yeah, all our runners choosing to clear out the overworld before they start diving into dungeons. Now, we did see an Eastern Palace play earlier, but however, he couldn't finish it. He didn't have the big key to access. Not all of the dungeons do require your big key. So Swamp Palace, Skull Woods do not require a big key. Neither does Ice Palace, because you can just drop in to the hole using the bomb jump and you'll be all set.
Now, Zelga is doing an interesting fake magic powder glitch, using that mushroom to mess with the game just a little bit, and talk to Batman.
That's right, that glitch works in that if you get rid of all of your magic and then attempt to use Canis Mario and quickly switch to mushroom, the game thinks that you have powder, and it will immediately toss some powder on the bat.
Of course, in this case, it only got him a piece of heart, but a nice little thing to show off.
Alright, and Solski is going to head up to Death Mountain, opting to pick up the old man in the dark. Same as Dylan in the bottom right.
Yep, so they're going to receive access to plenty of items, although they are sequence breaking, so what's behind there? We don't know. But we know it's not the lamp.
It could be Lamp if they're supposed to find Flute somewhere else.
This is true. It looks like WalkingEye is going to see if perhaps the lamp or the flute or something else is in Swamp.
Not a bad play. He can get that first check, and he does not have the key to get all the way into Swamp Palace, but he can check that first chest, which has actually become quite notorious for being the troll chest in all of Keysanity, for having all this work to access one chest that most runners won't do unless they absolutely have to. But WalkingEye opting to go for it.
Ooh, and it's just a heart container.
Getting some love. And Solski, yep,
headed to the Spike Cave. This, I don't believe, is one that the logic would expect you to do yet, although I might be mistaken. They do have one bottle. He's barely able to eke it out for a little bit of love. Love hurts sometimes.
And we've got Dylan doing Tower of Hera, getting some rupees there, and he does have a big key, so he can complete it. It is a pendant, but no, is it? Having difficulty making out my tracker.
No, it was the green pendant. So that is a little bit of extra value.
That is, Tower of Hera is such a quick check for them that they can complete it and have that for when they want to head over to Pod and it can mirror into Sarashula.
Yeah, the only downside is that it is Troll Dorm.
It is Troll Dorm, and runners want to make sure they don't fall into that middle hole, or else they are going to go 2 floors down.
Second bottle in the Hera basement, or at least the front part of Hera basement, not the slow back half that offers you a nice little coffee break.
And speaking of Palace of Darkness, Walking Eye is going straight into Palace of Darkness with one key. So he does have bow though and hammer, so he does actually have access to a lot more of Palace of Darkness than you would expect with just one key.
Absolutely. Palace of Darkness offering plenty of keys and plenty of routes within it, and having that bow and hammer creates even more. And there's the mitts. Walking Eye finding level 2 gloves. That will open up Turtle Rock.
And Ice Palace, should he want to head over that way.
And Ice Palace as well, yes.
Yeah, he does not have Fire Rod, but he does have Bombos, which will let him clear, according to the logic. You will need Bombos or Fire Rod.
Mimics being a little rude to Walking Eye.
Solski going for his Troll Dorm fight as the Zelga.
Yep, we've already seen Dylan complete that battle. Yeah, just a big 20 from Moldorm.
Oh, we got Lamp over on Walking Eye. Lamp and Pod.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that was one valuable gamble. Not quite as rude as Lamp on Turtle Rock, but certainly that's going to give Walking Eye a little bit of an advantage.
And finding the Tower of Hera basement key. Very interesting move. He left Hera after the first two checks, opting to go for Pod instead. So we'll see if he when he decides to come back, if he does.
If he does. Now we have Dylan going through the paradox.
So as it stands, that was a Deathbound sequence break, as I'm guessing the logic wanted you to go into Pod to grab Lamp, then you could head up to Death Mountain to check all of its valuables, now that you have Mitts and Lamp. So
Yes.
So whenever Walking Eye wants to go back in there, he's gonna have access to a few more chests than the rest of his racers.
Yeah, Walking Eye playing according to logic and it paying off. Sometimes sequence breaks are better, sometimes they're not.
And really looks like all we're missing is Fire Rod and Hookshot, so it'll be very interesting to see where those end up and if it happens to troll them.
Looks like we're getting pretty much a grand tour of Palace of Darkness from Walking Eye.
Had some small keys in the Paradox Cave, Boomerang, key to Thieves Town. That'll allow him to check that one chest in the basement of Thieves Town. And Walking Eye heading back up to check the rest of Pod.
Oh, and DarkDyllon finally hitting up the back of Escape. Hadn't noticed that he hadn't done that.
Now Walking Eye is going for what's called the Hammer Jump, very particular and precise action to get him access to that chest.
But did it nice and smooth. Of course,
Yeah.
no big key, unfortunately, so that's one chest that we'll have to wait till later.
Yeah, but he does not have to waste a small key to get back here to check these two chests, with which one turns into Shield. We'll see what the other one turns into in a minute, but good job Walking Eye hitting that Hammer Jump on the first try.
Yes, that is an extremely precise bomb jump. But if you can pull it off, saves a small key, and in Keysanity, that's very important. We have Zelga taking a peek into the Spike Cave, while Dylan goes through and does the rescue. Solski, a few steps ahead there. Looks like Walking Eye finally going up Death Mountain. Doing it proper with the lamp and all. Pretty hard to tell where everyone's deciding to head next. Had a really rapid start. Now it's starting to slow down a little bit. Zelga looks like going to go deliver the mushroom. Solski going up Agonim's tower. And Zelga finding a big key, this time for Pod. So when Zelga heads in, he'll be able to... I'm not sure about full clear, but certainly get a lot further in there.
Yeah, that does depend on whether or not he knows how to hammer jump, though that'll save him some time, allow him to get back there to check the big chest that Walking Eye could not. But Walking Eye going straight for Ice Palace, that's a pendant that he can complete. Does not need a big key for that, so we're going to see him most likely full clear this one.
Yep, this is one where the bomb jump saves you a lot more than just one small key. Helps prevent you from needing the big key entirely. Unless, of course, something essential is in the big chest. Zelga heading up towards Palace of Darkness, about to find the lamp and level 2 gloves. Walking Eye giving those penguins a proper bombing.
And getting the big key for Ice Palace. So he will actually be able to full check it. Previously he would have missed the big chest, but now not a problem if he wants to check it.
It looks like Dylan is about to head the same direction as Zelga. He's getting that T-Rock small key off Sahasrarla. And Walking Eye attempting the bomb jump for Ice Palace. One of the trickier ones. Gets the first try.
Well done, Walking Eye. That is definitely one of the, oh.
Let's see if he gets the second try, too.
He's showing off for the audience, folks. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, so Ice Palace Bomb Jump's definitely one of those tricks that you want to learn that just helps you out in your routing for Keysanity and for regular Randomizer. It's just a fun trick you can do in regular Link to the Past, too. Go ahead, impress your friends.
Yeah, that's one thing that Keysanity really pushes you on, is learning all of those subtle tricks, all of those little sequence breaks and other little things that, open up new locations for you.
Yeah, that's the first thing I learned when I started running Randomizer was the Ice Palace Bomb Jump. And it took a few turns to learn it, but when you do, it feels so good.
And Walking Eye finds the shovel. It's an interesting item to find, could be valuable, might not be, and a little bit tricky to route in from time to time. Almost expected that to be a vanilla compass, but Walking Eye does already have the compass to Ice Palace. And we have 3 of our runners, all in Palace of Darkness, all at the same time.
Very fun to note that we know where 6 crystals are, and we know where 2 pendants are. And 2 unknown locations are Eastern Palace and Swamp Palace, which both pretty quick to check though, so they may save those because they don't know what could be in there.
Dylan using the King of Samaria to handle that crystal switch. There's a lot of ways you can approach that one. And Zelga's going for the hammer jump. Very precise setup. You're going to see a lot of that pausing and repositioning ever so slightly. Make sure you get it just right. And that's how you do it.
Nails it. Well done.
Ooh, looks like those penguins are getting revenge on Walking Eye. Ooh!
Taking a death right in Ice Palace, and no fairy to save them, so he's got to retrace all his footsteps back to finish his route there.
Yeah, might go bombos those penguins in that early room again, just out of revenge. Looks like Dylan is done with Pod. Solski trying to bomb the switch and getting his bomb swallowed up by the depths. Yeah, I don't believe we've seen anyone other than Zelga go to Cave 45 yet, but we do know where all of the shields are now. Looks like Dylan is going to Hera, or at least the upper portion of that mountain.
Looks like he got that Tower of Hera small key, so he's going to go back and check. I think he's aware that what he did was a sequence break, and he may think that the gate logic does want him to have now gone into Tower of Hera after Pod, so see if the basement holds anything. I think Solski is thinking the same thing and making the same play there. And we got Sonic the Hedgehog over on DarkDyllon screen taking a timeout coffee break.
Yep, gotta go fast, but sometimes you gotta slow down.
Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them. Sometimes Sonic gotta know when to fold them. And Walking Eye making up his groundy in Ice Palace pretty quickly. He's going to be able to check that big chest now with a fire rod in Ice Palace. Look at that.
Good location to find it.
Yeah, and he is now able to. He is actually going to go straight for Cold Stare, which should be pretty easy for him with Bombos, Fire Rod, and Half Magic. And the big key to Thieves Town in basement of Hera.
So, it looks like everyone's gonna have to make their way back to Hera. Dylan and Solski making a smart play now. And naturally, everyone's going to have to head on over to Ice Palace, possibly give Cold Stare a visit. Oh no, definitely give Cold Stare a visit, my bad. Yes, this opens up the rest of Skullwoods. Skullwoods being one of those where you don't need the big key to complete the dungeon. Although all of our racers have that, so not a necessary bit of benefit, but it is there.
And good point, we're reaching 50 minutes for our first crystal with all the items that were opened up to us. walkingeye now the first runner on screen to pick up his first crystal. So, but that was a good one to pick up because Fire Rod will now open up the ability for him to pick up Skull Woods. Although, wait, that's actually a medallion. So he may wait on that, and we'll see him go into perhaps Turtle Rock, which Solski is opening up for the temporary time being. He doesn't have Fire Rod yet, so he may not want to dive in so soon.
Although we never know. Flute could be at Pedestal.
Flute could be at Pedestal. We haven't really discussed Pedestal possibilities, but Flute on Pedestal would not be out of the question. Oh.
And Solski gets the Butter Sword. Didn't have the hook shot to get through the entire cave, but I would say that didn't really matter right now. And yes, and Dylan has it as well. And Zelga getting the Ice Palace big key. As we found out, that is pretty necessary.
Oh, we got Solski making a Turtle Rock play early. He's going to have to double dip that one. But we'll see what's inside. He does have access to a few chests.
Yeah, you might be thinking the Fire Rod could be in here.
Yeah, he may be with 3 big key and 3 small keys. He may be shooting for the luck that something's on that laser bridge.
Yeah, we've seen all kinds of interesting items appearing in Turtle Rock, as I've mentioned. You can find lamp in here. You can find silver arrows. Can't find hammer, but past that you can find a lot of interesting and valuable items.
Like the compass to Desert Palace.
Exactly. Compasses in Keysanity, not extremely valuable to our runners. They do provide you with information when you're in a dungeon as to how many item locations you have and haven't checked. But as you get more experience with Keysanity, it becomes easier to keep track of that just in your head. It looks like Solski is stealing a key up in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, there is technically 4 small keys for Turtle Rock, but by stealing that one from the Pokey, he can skip the vanilla big key chest there right in the middle as he's kind of flies by it in order to get all the way to the end.
And of course, that's one play that very often works out, but anything can be anywhere. I've had vanilla big key in Turtle Rock and had to backtrack.
Yeah, we're in open or standard mode of Keysanity. You want to try to minimize your double dips as best as possible, but in Keysanity, embrace it. And we've got DarkDyllon having just picked up that Thieves Town big key, going straight into Thieves Town. So we'll get our first look to see what's in the back there, what Thieves been hiding.
We'll even get to find out what little bits of wisdom Blind has for us. It's always nice to be able to hit Thieves Town when you have the small key and the hammer. Lets you get the big chest. Don't have to worry about that later on.
I got powder over in Troll Rock. It's a nice safety item. We know that doesn't lead to anything in that, so.
Yep, a powder along with the bug net, along with a couple empty bottles. Got yourself a fairy factory. Solski taking a bit of extra health, extra magic. All of our runners have half magic at this point, so it's a little harder to run out, but not impossible. Solski just sneaking around those lasers like they're nothing. Although the beetle gives him a little bit of annoyance.
Yeah, with no cape or Cane of Brian, those are very tricky to do. But with boots, if you line up on the right pixel, you can just dash right past and cut up quick. You can avoid any of the laser damage.
And as we're thinking about further progression, we haven't really talked to the smiths. We haven't taken the purple chest around yet. There are a lot of things that you tend to see earlier mid-game, but we haven't seen them yet just because of how generous the items have been. Those are sort of spots that,
Oh, there's Flute. Right in Thieves Town basement, that is going to open up a lot for... He's going to open up Misery Mire. He's going to open up Desert Palace. Just doing a key count here. Misery Mire needs big key, and we're pretty close to go mode if I'd have to make a quick guess without just looking.
yeah, the Blind has taken all the good stuff and stuck it in Thieves Town. And a baker's job is indeed a piece of cake. This blind fight not being, well, being a bit of a piece of cake for Dylan. So we'll see how quickly our other runners decide to go back to Thieves Town.
Yep, Solski went straight for blind, or he just entered, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Trying to sneak up that particularly annoying hallway. But of course with magic powder, that last anti-fairy, no sweat. DarkDyllon releasing the Quacken. I'm sorry. The flute is in the big chest in Thieves Town. So we're about to see Solski pick it up, in all likelihood.
And Walking Eye going into Turtle Rock now. He does have Fire Rod, so he will be able to full clear this. Or at least get to Trinex, who have to skip out on the big key, small key rather. Big key vanilla chest, thank you. But he will be able to clear it, so that's going to be pretty good for him.
Yeah, and having to do this little path room without the hook shot. If you have the hook shot, you can do this a fair bit faster, but without, you have to go all the way around, take your time. Make sure you get back to the door before these lamps go out. Which is a good reminder that we still haven't seen hookshot.
Yeah, well, yeah, hookshot's hiding out on us, but it could be in swamp.
Could be. And swamp is one of the two that we don't know, if I'm reading correctly, so that we may not need that dungeon at all. DarkDyllon is bringing the smith back. And Zelga taking the back part of Skull Woods. Dylan just finds a small key to Ganon's tower in the peg field. We'll see what the breadsmiths are cooking up.
And we got Solski over there activating the flute. No foul play involved there. And the small key to Swamp Palace over with the Smiths, keeping it nice and toasty. That's going to be good. He can now go in there and check if he wants to in there, but without having hookshot, he won't be able to clear it.
And without having the map, won't know if he wants to anyway.
This is true. We could see hookshot on pedestal, I believe, with if we get pendants on Eastern, Hera, and Skull. It's very be possible.
Always holding out for those unusual little pedestal plays, just to give it a little more flavor.
Oh, always good to think about those worst case scenarios, but Zelga making quick work of Mothula, grabbing his red pendant, and 300 rupees in the process.
I believe I saw that Meyer is Quake, so DarkDyllon not yet equipped to do that. Solski gonna go pay Batman a visit, this time using real magic powder. No artificial flavoring. I'm also thinking I don't believe anyone has checked Agana yet. Out in the desert cave.
We haven't had too much action out in the desert. DarkDyllon doing his check now there that he has flute. Get some access there quick so he can check in on Meyer and desert.
Yep, finding an Ice Palace key. Not really essential. And there we go. There's a hook shot.
There you are. So wow, with hookshot, we're in good shape for these runners to basically do whatever they want.
Yeah, I believe we have all of the ingredients for go mode. just they're spread across our runners. So we have GT Big Key, we have silvers, and the bow to shoot them with. The only question is it Swamp or is it Eastern?
We still, I don't know, we do have Meyer, Big Key on DarkDyllon, and Zelga, though our top 2 runners have not seemed to have picked it up yet.
Yeah, this is one of the interesting things with Randomizer in general and Keysanity in particular. Your routes start to diverge very quickly, and we can end up in situations here where, you know, all of our runners have similar but subtly different items.
Yeah, so and this of course is no mode when we hear the commentators in the audience know more than some of the runners do, which now makes their actions very interesting because we can kind of know where they should go, but it'll be very interesting to see what they do exactly.
DarkDyllon takes down Lamelas. No real special tricks to doing that. But with Butter Sword, you don't really need them. And he just gets a red meringue for his troubles. But a crystal too, which is maybe more important.
Now, and as we're an hour 6 minutes in, just as a reminder to anyone joining us, they are all playing the same seed, but Solski is racing walkingeye and zelgadissan is racing DarkDyllon. So if you see Solski finish and then Zelga finish, they haven't beaten each other. They're simply the ones that won on their row. So.
But of course, that said, it does look like all of our runners are pretty close. Again, this is Keysanity, so hard to say exactly who's in the lead at any given time. But I'll say everyone's making some pretty solid progress.
Absolutely, that no one's missing anything too difficult, and they're all covering each other's tracks pretty well. So I wouldn't be surprised to honestly see all 4 runners hit Ganon's tower at the same time, given the way the race has been going. Lots of great play from everyone, great decisions, great routing. So very, very excited to see how the rest of this shapes out.
And Dylan finding the magic cape. Not going to be an essential item, but always pretty helpful, especially when you find yourself in a pinch. And Solski giving Lamelas a nice little arrow demonstration. With the silvers, you can one-shot Lamelas and a number of bosses and enemies. So if you've got the timing right.
TNC in the chat that Walking does seem to be ahead of Solski in terms of crystal, but he does not have Ganon's tower big key just yet. So we know that's we'll be very, very interested to see when he decides to go over there and check. That could turn everything.
Exactly, very good point. And with Walking and Dylan, neither of them have Quake yet. And they will need that to get into Mire. So that's another little advantage that Solski and Zelga have on their respective races. And some little more health for Zelga and for Walking Eye. Walking Eye hitting up Spike Cave. We're at the point now everyone's got pretty hearty health situation. Oh, I am also noticing Walking Eye is still on green tunic. Did not go check. I believe it was King's Tomb that had the blue mail on it.
Oh, and we do have Crystal over on Swamp, so we know that Eastern now holds a pendant.
And with that, we know that the hookshot is necessary. Fortunately, Solski and Dylan already obtained it. Looks like the T-Rock big key chest, not really worth hitting up. And this is one of the small things that changes up a run with Solski, seeing he has to go and use the lamp to light all of these torches. If you have the fire rod, you can do these much faster. Small little things that can add up and turn the tide on a run.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Solski with no issue there.
Dylan having to do a double bombos on those zombies, hit it a little too early. But using that hook shot to sneak around and get to the big chest, and he's got his fire rod. So now it's just Solski that hasn't picked it up yet. And Walking Eye will be getting the flute in a moment. Get a little toot on that side. Zelga getting a bit trolled by the roller there. I don't believe any of our individual runners are in go mode yet, but everyone is very close. Dylan and Walking Eye are missing Quake, which is necessary for Meyer.
Zelga's missing Hookshot.
Zelga's missing Hookshot and Flute, while Solski is missing Fire Rod. So everyone is incredibly close, but nobody has all the pieces just yet. Oh yes, and Pod Big Key. It looks like only Zelga has that. So yes, we're at a point where everyone is very close in slightly different ways, and We may see them all converge at about the same time. Whoever manages to get go mode first will have that advantage.
That's right, and Walking Eye did just pick up Flute, so he didn't want to feel too daffy, so he's activating his swag duck at the moment.
Zelga giving Trinex a little poke on the shoulder, speeding up that fight very easily.
And with Butter, just Zelga destroying Trinex, not even a problem.
Absolutely. If you come into that with Master Sword and no half magic, it could be absolutely brutal, but half magic, Butter, good strats, no sweat.
And we got Solski, now that he has Hookshot, he's going into Swamp. He's going to clear that. He's going to go straight to Argus if I had to guess. Though he may... We'll see if he checks western side of Swamp just in case. Oh, there's Book in the first chest.
The book, interesting discovery. Yes, a lot of runners don't like to go to the left side. It does take a fair amount of time, especially compared to how many items you get, but if you're not in go mode, you never know what's where. And that left side could have exactly what you needed. Although I believe at this point, we know that the right side doesn't have anything. So I think everyone is still missing something, but I think we've seen all of the important items across the runners. It's always a little difficult to keep track of exactly what keys are where. It's kind of the core challenge of Keysanity, and Walking Eye is a bunny. Of course, with every runner running different sprites, although Solski and Walking are both using vanilla Link sprites, the Dark World sprites do change as well. Unfortunately, we don't get to see what Sonic or the Moogle turn into.
Yeah, so like we said, Solski is going straight for Argus there. He's just going to get that out of the way. Hoping that he picks up Palace of Darkness big key.
Well, Dylan finds a Palace of Darkness small key after a little bit of plowing. Get a little shovel dash going. And Walking Eye takes out Mothula.
Fire Rod is in Ice Palace.
Solski picking up a couple small keys. Don't think those will be of any use, unfortunately. And Zelga about to get his flute. As Solski goes and takes care of Argus. Another straightforward fight when you have Butter Sword. Argus just offering up a piece of heart. And one last blind fight on Zelga's screen. No more baking puns for the evening, unfortunately. I know those are the kind of jokes that we all need. walkingeye checking out Graveyard Ledge. Just found Heart Container.
All right, and Zelga also placing the call to pick up his swag duck. A mighty decision.
You can always appreciate it when the chat gets in on the blind puns, sort of thing that we love to see.
And we've got Walking. He is making his way towards Catfish. That is a great move for him. He's going to be very happy.
And Solski just now hitting up the left side of Swamp.
Yeah, he is still looking for that Palace of Darkness big key that will help him out.
Unfortunately, that's not it. Nope, left side of Swamp not paying out this time. He's gonna have to keep hunting. And Zelga getting the small key to Swamp. walkingeye gets big key for Pod. It's all in that mushroom delivery.
Yeah, that mushroom ended up paying off big time. So now that he has picked up the Palace of Darkness big key and Ganon's Tower big key, he is going to make his way over into the desert area. Won't be too far from Hookshot, so he will appear to have gained on Solski.
Yeah, but though Solski picking up the pod key as well.
Oh, although walkingeye doesn't have Quake, so he can't
Yeah.
access Mystery Fire. Oh. And just as making that update for Walking, Solski going into Ice, which will give him Fire Rod, so they're just about evening each other out in terms of progression.
Dylan about to be a little disappointed by Batman. Although you never know, maybe you wanted that little piece of love. I saw a little bit of dipping into Mire earlier, but we haven't seen anybody complete it yet. Of course, the Vitreous fight will be fairly easy since everyone has silvers and has had them for a while. Looks like Zelga might be dipping into Desert. Certainly hitting up Desert Ledge. Ooh, an interesting route. It's gonna be skipping the front part of desert, going straight into the back half. This will be interesting. Zelga might decide to just do the fight and call it a day, head over to Meyer, or it might just do the two halves out of order. By the way, right now, Chad is definitely hoping that Zelga gives that lamp a peek.
Yeah, and just a reminder, Quake is in Castle Tower. Walking Eye and DarkDyllon have not made that play just yet. So unfortunately, they can't get into Mire, but we're hoping they get in there soon. Those would be the only things trolling them at this point. So you can see Walking Eye going to check the little Kakariko / Thieves Town corner there with the hammer pegs and for the smiths.
Yep, and Zelga going through the front part of the desert, finding an ice palace key, and is about to be pretty pleased with this maneuver. Yep, now all of our runners have the hookshot.
And Solski just picked up Fire Rod, so all our runners have Fire Rod.
Yeah, it looks like DarkDyllon is going to go and take care of Turtle Rock. Still nobody quite in go mode yet. Very close, but not quite.
Yeah, Zelga does have additional pod keys, so he can go into Helmasaur, at which point, once he beats Helmasaur, he will be in go mode. He does have Mr. Meyer Big Key, he has Hookshot, he can complete Swamp Palace, so he does seem to be in the lead at the moment.
Yeah, I think we can call Zelga in go mode. Can't think of anything that he absolutely needs at this point that he doesn't already have.
And Solski using that with the butter sword, easy cold share fight. Got him in that corner and just left him with nothing.
Walking Eye pulling a nice subtle trick there. Accidentally left the chest on the warp back to Dark World, so pulls out a bomb, walks right over it, gets the chest following once again.
And Solski opting to go check out what the shovel will get him. Seemed like he was going to make a dip into pod there real quick, but he just backed out to take a look at the shovel spot.
Zelga making quick work of Vitreous. And getting a Ganon's Tower small key for his troubles.
And DarkDyllon did opt to check the Turtle Rock Vanilla Big Key location and only got some bundle of arrows out of it. And Solski is heading for Pod, so it does appear that he will be finishing that. He did pick up some extra Dark Palace keys, so he will be going to finish that up.
Yeah, it certainly feels like Solski and Zelga have the advantage in their respective races. Zelga is probably the most solid with Go mode, but I think Solski is still missing Meyer Big Key.
Yeah, that does seem to be the only thing he's missing. So he's missing Meyer Big Key. walkingeye is missing Quake. So knowing Quake is in Aga Tower, we know what to expect from walkingeye, or at least we'll know when he's going to be reaching Go mode. And Misery Mire Big Key is in Skullwoods, so he's going to have to double. walkingeye is going to have to. I'm sorry, Solski is going to have to double back around to check that at some point when he goes to get the. If he decides to go there, it is holding a pendant, so he may not look so soon.
Yep, that is always the sort of thing that you worry about running into with a randomizer run, Keysanity or otherwise, as having really essential items in a pendant dungeon that you just don't want to visit because it's a pendant and you're hoping you don't need it. Yeah, we'll get to see if Zelga decides to hit the left side of Swamp or just move straight along. Looks like walkingeye is taking a tour of that direction. DarkDyllon taking a safety exit over on the laser bridge in T-Rock. Only down to 2 hearts is a pretty smart maneuver. That way if the lasers do get him, comes back right there instead of having to go all the way through Turtle Rock again, as we are about to see. Taking an unfortunate but not that terrible death.
Yeah, especially with these laser bridge. If you're not confident in your laser skips, you definitely want to pick up that sort of safety door there. Especially when he is still looking for Quake because he knows he needs that to get into Mire.
Yep, you also could always just throw on a magic cape and let the lasers run right over you. It's one of those things where I believe the logic expects you to have either the magic cape, the blue cane, or the mirror shield by the time you get there. But you can do those laser skips and render the whole thing moot.
And Zelga picking up his 6th crystal, so he's going to be heading to Pod, picking up his last one, taking a solid lead over DarkDyllon at the moment. Though, of course, that could change. Though Zelga does seem to be in Go mode at this point. DarkDyllon's still looking for Quake, so that's kind of keeping him out of Go mode.
And meanwhile, between Solski and Walking Eye, just one crystal separates them. And with neither of them quite in go mode yet, it's a bit interesting.
Zelga is in go mode over DarkDyllon, but Solski and Walking Eye both missing one important item apiece that would be the different item. Both in kind of an obscure location you wouldn't necessarily check, though. So we'll see what checks they decide to make.
Yeah, Aghanim's... Go ahead.
Though certainly, just looking at what they have, Solski is definitely going to, well, at least in my opinion, going to check Turtle Rock. He's got what he needs to get in there and to full clear it. But he's going to make that play before he decides to look anywhere else for that Quake, hoping it's in there.
Yeah, and having Quake in Aghanim's Tower, especially if you're coming into Keysanity from doing a normal randomizer, Aghanim's Tower is the sort of place you don't really want to go to ever. Because in normal mode, you're not going to find items there, you're just going to go do that fight.
Absolutely, and a lot of runners will overlook checking Aghanim's Tower for exactly that reason. They know that it's not usually, in open mode and standard mode doesn't have anything, but those two chests do become valuable in Keysanity. And in a case such as, open versus Keysanity, Keysanity definitely favors those that like to check as many as possible. You can sometimes get away with being able to minimize the number of chests you check, but thoroughness is sometimes rewarded. I talked to Zelga before the race, and he did say he was a big thorough checker, so that actually paid off for him big time in his match.
And paying off for Solski is that Hilmasaur fight, finding the red mail. So a little extra durability.
Oh yeah, he is the first one to complete Helmasaur, so that is going to be good for everyone to pick up. Going to make it easy Ganon's Tower and Ganon fight.
A Walking Eye, being thorough, has that book, might as well check the tablets. Unfortunately, Bombos 1 didn't pay off.
Solski picking up the big key in for Eastern Palace off of the Ether Tablet. Most likely not going to be going in there. Although he could, it's possible if he thinks that it's on Armos or the big key chest. That could actually troll him out if he thinks to look there.
Very true. Yes, Randomizer in general and Keysanity in particular, a lot of it is understanding the odds, understanding where things may be, where they're less likely to be, what are the high value plays, and what kind of spot might you end up trolling yourself on.
And Zelga did complete Pod, so he is heading over to Ganon's Tower. Fortunately, unlike open mode, this is Keysanity, so we will not have a Ganon's Tower guessing game.
Yes, as Hippo was saying in chat, there's game knowledge, there's game execution, but there's always a good amount of skill and a good amount of luck. You can play everything right according to the probabilities and just miss out on that one thing that your opponent just thought to do or just took a wild guess. It's a bit like playing poker. And Zelga making it to Ganon's Tower. 1 hour 40 minutes.
That's an incredible time for Keysanity.
Yeah, of the races in this tournament that I've been watching so far, I think all of them have gone over 2 hours, and that's not uncommon. So this is the point in the run on Zelga's side, rather. It all comes down to execution once you're in Ganon's tower. It's all about getting through the gauntlet smoothly and quickly and not taking too much damage. Or if you do, being able to recover it.
Absolutely, and with a seed that was so quick like this one, you got to imagine Zelga's thinking, "Where's Dylan at? How far is he? Is he in Ganon's tower? Is he past me?" He's going to try to get through as fast as possible, so he needs to make sure he maintains his nerves and just clears out the gauntlet as quick and efficiently as possible.
Yeah, it sometimes can be easy to forget when you're watching these races that the racers have no idea where anyone else is or what anyone else has. So we could be sitting here really hoping that someone moves fast, catches it up. They may not know what position they're in. Zelga already up to Lamulus Part 2, the sequel. Getting 2 arrow shots in out of the 3, but making quick work nonetheless.
Meanwhile, Solski, back half of Turtle Rock, gonna head towards. He's gonna probably do Laser Bridge, clear that out, and then go straight for Trinex. Still looking for Meyer, big key on his screen.
And Dylan is making efficient work of Argus. Getting through that fight, textbook quick. Up the fireballs, giving Zelga a little bit of hassle.
Yeah, not too much a word for Zelga. He just picks himself back up. There's a big magic pot there at the bottom under that room, so if he needed to, he could get that. But no problems, he's going straight through. He'll be in Moldorm Tomb shortly. Solski just finished up Trinex, and DarkDyllon also checking his map, see where he's got to go next. He just finished Argus, so he's just making his decision about where he's going to find that Quake Medallion, which we of course know is in Agate Tower. So
And Zelga making quick work of Moldorm. And just an arrow cap for the final chest. Solski dashing up into Eastern.
yeah, he's going to follow that breadcrumb.
Yeah, might be looking for that last little bit there.
Wrong pendant. Wrong pendant dungeon, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, walkingeye is going to get the red mail. And Dylan looks like he's going to pick up that Quake.
good Ag 2 there from Zelga. He's going to go on to Ganon with all his magic, pretty good healthy amount of hearts, red mail, and butter. That's going to be a quick finish for him. So he's 145 at the moment. He's got to feel good.
Yeah, I've had numerous open mode seeds in Randomizer, not even Keysanity, that have gone on longer than Zelga's fight is going on. Meanwhile, Ganon dropping those helpful Spaceballs references.
DarkDyllon getting smacked about by the bird during the animation.
The Protector of Myers strikes again.
I've actually died to that bird just kind of going back and forth on one of my first Keysanity seeds. It was the most frustrating thing. Got Walking Eye picking up the big bomb. He's going to see if that pays off. They actually haven't had anyone check that, I believe, so we'll see what they have.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the thing he needs. Ooh, Zelga just misses a triple on that. And he's done it. Zelga finishes up with an official time of 1:47:17. That is a remarkable race and a remarkable time. We've got GG's all over in the chat. And Walking Eye finds Quake. So it looks like Walking Eye is good to go. So as that race progresses, I think we're going to get Zelga in for an interview in a bit. It doesn't look like Solski has found the big key yet, so this is going to get tight.
Yeah,
Solski's going for the big bomb.
He's also making the big bomb play there. Very interesting.
This is what I was saying earlier about you never quite know who's in the lead. Solski may have looked like he was ahead for a while, but not being able to find that big key is giving Walking Eye plenty of time to make up progress.
There with so few locations left to check, you gotta imagine he's gonna make that play to Skull after this. You always feel bad going out to check one chest or anything like that, but sometimes you got to make that play.
Yeah, this is another one of those cases where this is the smarter play. It's 2 chests, it's not as much time, but it's not the right play.
And we're gonna get Zelga in here for a quick interview in just a minute.
Oh, Solski is back in Skullwood's area. Looks like he's finally heading up there.
Yep, he's gonna make it. He's gonna finally make that play. Zelga, welcome, GG.
Hey, GG, thank you very much.
Very good run. So how give me some of your thoughts. How did that go for you? How do you feel?
This was a crazy seed to me. Well, first off, this is a PB for me by over 10 minutes. This is ridiculously fast for me. I don't fully understand what happened, to be honest.
Zelga, welcome, GG.
But really, the big thing was just, I think the main thing that helped me a lot was that I just kind of went with my gut, and as soon as I got all the Dark World access in Kakariko, like 5 minutes in, I'm like, I'm just going to go ahead and do Dark World stuff on 3 hearts. I don't care. I want to see what happens. And going in, Thieves Town and the Village of Outcasts were loaded with everything for the entire seed, basically. So it was one of those things where I just got super lucky with the way I chose to route it.
Indeed, that did. We're still on ourselves trying to recover from what an open that was, but did you guys finally put everything together? It was wonderful just to see so many items come up so quickly. What did you think early on when you saw everything just drop out of Kakariko and Thieves like that?
Honestly, it's scary. Like, whenever you've got so much stuff, you're just like thrown all these options. Where do I go now? And at one point, even with all that stuff, I eventually exhausted basically all my options almost, because I just had so many things to check that it was just constantly going from place to place. And yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, especially in Keysanity, it's scary to me to get a bunch of items early, because then it's just, you've got all these things, but you can't finish any dungeons because you don't have the keys. So it's still a crapshoot on where you're going.
And just give a quick update on the Solski and walkingeye match. Solski has gone and fought Modula, and I don't believe he's checked the big chest, so he's going to do a pedestal pull.
You might actually check it before he commits to it. Oh, 3 bombs at pedestal. He is getting out of there, but walkingeye did just finish up Desert Pella, so he is on his way to Ganon's tower to finish up the game.
Anyway, Zelga, you mentioned you got the PB on this by just over 10 minutes. Were you expecting that to happen when the seed started out, or were you expecting a bit of troll out of it?
Well, going into it, and with all the other matches I've seen with things like Bo in the Vanilla Pod Big Key or the Cane of Samaria, things like that, I went into it expecting a full troll. And then I started a Sanctuary, and the very first chest is Boots. And so I was like, okay, I'm already in for something here. I just don't know what it's going to be until I actually dig into it. But especially with all the items early, and Oh, I just remembered my ridiculous in Ice Palace, how I had to go back in for that big chest. Because I was thinking the whole time, it's like, they gave me the big key right here. I have to get that big chest before I leave. And I just got really lucky that it was actually something I absolutely needed in the fire rod.
Yeah, it can be very easy to miss those big chests or forget just one chest as you're passing by, and that ends up being the thing you needed.
Yeah. Overall, I'm really happy with how I routed this in general. There's some things I definitely could have done better, and I'll hope to improve. But I I really can't say I have any complaints about this. This was by far a lot better than I expected this to go.
All right, and at the moment we have both Walking Eye and DarkDyllon in Ganon's Tower going through the gauntlet. Solski's still hunting for that key.
Yeah, he's having a tough time picking up where it is. He's even checking Lumberjack Cave. Yeah, as Ack points out in chat, these tournament races, sometimes can put a lot of pressure on you in order to kind of make sure you're making all the checks, and you get psyched out if you really like forget a spot or miss something on your tracker. Zelga, did you have any moments like that where when you entered Ganon's Tower, did you feel a little pressure on you, or how are you feeling at that moment?
Overall, I felt pretty good going into Ganon's Tower. I felt like I probably had the lead, but it's one of those things that, especially in a tournament, you never know exactly how it's going for everyone else. Like, if it's a daily, I mean, who cares? Like, I lost by a few seconds, I'll deal. But I mean, in a tournament, there's all this constant stress of like, I have no idea where they are, and I've got to constantly be doing my best, or else I'm gonna lose, and that's a big deal. So yeah, especially with, for example, like what you were mentioning with Solski and the big key, that's tournament nerves are ridiculous to try and get over, and I know I felt them a lot as I was going through. Just even if I had a big what I felt like might be an item lead from the way I started, there was nothing in my mind saying that everyone else didn't do this exact same thing. So there's this constant pressure.
Absolutely, but he handled it very well, getting a 1:47.17 SRL time and the first win of the tournament for you. So congratulations yet again.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy with how this came out.
And just for everyone in the audience, the tournament, first round of the tournament is 5 matches, so we've got 4 more weeks of matches before we find out who's going to advance further on to the rest of the tournament. There is over 200 people racing, so any time of the day you do have Keysanity to tune in and watch.
Yeah, we have this channel, Speed Gaming. We have 2, 3, and 4 with that as well. Then I believe there's Link to the Past Randomizer, 1, 2, or Link to the Past Randomizer, and then 2, 3. And I think that has a 4th as well. There's actually a lot of channels that are doing this tournament and giving you something to watch
And
just about all the time.
Solski finally picking up his Meyer key over at Skull Woods. He did pass by that chest earlier in the race. He had the key, but he did not go and look in it. You got to feel for him in those moments, but sometimes these races, like we were talking earlier, will mess with your brain in strange ways.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, I actually did the exact same thing. After I got the fire rod, that gave me full Turtle Rock access because I had every key. But I was just thinking, fire rod, okay, Skull Woods. And then as I was on the way there, I was thinking, oh crap, I could have gone to Turtle Rock. And that distracted me from opening the big chest. So thankfully, I remembered it right as I was done with the Mothula fight.
Both DarkDyllon and WalkingEye going through the Aga 2 fight, getting some solid execution in. And time for the plot flute for DarkDyllon. The one time the flute actually works in Darkworld is the one time the story requires it. Yes, WalkingEye and DarkDyllon are on different races, but they are very close to each other time-wise. Give you a sense of just how tight some of these runners can be on their times and on their performance. There's plenty of competition here.
Absolutely, and with so many people in the tournament, you've got a lot of familiar faces, but you also do have a lot of people just entering the tournament scene for their first time. I know this is my first rando tournament of any kind, and so goes the same for many others. So you do have a lot of people coming in for the first time. A lot of great play. More people is always welcome. So if anyone's watching this and you feel like participating in Keysanity or even just open mode randomizer, hop in, give it a shot. It's tons of fun.
Absolutely, and if you feel like watching any of our runners doing more randomizer on their own, you can follow all of them on Twitch. I believe all of their names are the same as their handles, although I think WalkingEye is walking_eye. But other than that, they all match.
Okay, and Solski picking up his last crystal. He's going to head over to Ganon's tower while WalkingEye is just entering the final phase. Going to put 4 arrows into him and be all set there. Oh, DarkDyllon taking a fall in Ganon.
Ooh, those are always painful.
Yeah, when those bats come at you, you really get all messed up when you bounce away from them.
And WalkingEye wrapping it up.
WalkingEye finishing in his race first place with an SRL time of 2 hours and 2 minutes and 50 seconds. GG WalkingEye.
Yes, and it looks like that is another new PB here tonight. 2 winners, 2 PBs.
Yeah, beating his personal
I know Solski's not here, but I'm sure he'll watch the replay. So Solski, thank you very much for the race. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing it. Give Solski a follow. I mean, he won't always forget one location. He's a very, very strong runner. Give him a follow, and give the whole production crew and all the runners here a follow. He's gonna hover. Oh, I need to watch this. Hang on, hovering. Give him a follow while he's trying to hover.
Solski doing a little bit of showing off. Or, nope, just going to hook shot it over.
It was a tease.
No hover. I demand it. In the lag. Come on. No, he's hook shotting. Yeah, I don't blame him. So give everybody a follow that put this together. It's a lot of entertaining streamers out here. A lot of really good competitors throughout this tournament. So if you're looking for a link to the past entertainment, you can start with the people whose names you can see on the screen right here. And once again, thanks everybody for participating and running and commentating and tracking. I know Keysanity tracking is not the easiest thing in the world. So, all right.
Yeah, and I'd just like to second all that. This is an amazing thing to be a part of, and I really appreciate just the chance to be even just be in this tournament. And all the behind-the-scenes work that has to go into putting this on is nothing short of amazing. So, really appreciate everything that's going into this.
All right, well, it looks like you guys got more interviews to do, so I'm going to duck out unless you have any last questions for me or anything.
No, I don't believe so. I believe DarkDyllon is about ready to pop in. So we'll give him a little chat as Solski finishes up with Ganon.
All right. Thanks again, everyone.
All right, thank you again, GG. Yeah, as he was saying, the production crew behind this, everyone in every channel that helps out, our trackers for today. Give them also a big follow, Walter, and Nifboy, and all of our runners. All four of them did an incredible job. The seed threw a couple curveballs there towards the end for all of them, but just a wonderful job by all of them. And we're joined by DarkDyllon. DarkDyllon, how's it going?
Hey guys, what's up?
How you feeling?
Pretty good about the seed, except for reverse fire batch roll, but yeah.
Gotta say, congratulations on improving the PB by 40 minutes. That's incredible, incredible accomplishment.
Yeah. This was actually a pretty nice seed compared to that one with the 240 something.
Yeah, well, when you get so many items up front, it really just it opens up the map so much, but it gives you a lot to think about. What was going through your head early on?
Well, normally in the beginning I tried to do Chris Houlihan room for easy rupees, which in the end actually came to bite me back. Like normally I do Chris Houlihan and I find a 300 rupee or something, and it's like, why did I even try? But no, there was basically no money. So I had to improvise there a lot. Remember a lot that I had to go back. Which, like a few times I just straight up paused because I just didn't know what to do at that point.
And GG to Solski, who just finished up with a SRL time of 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 46 seconds.
GG.
Yes, those early moves like doing the Houlihan room, those are some of those moments that you make one move that sometimes doesn't pay off, and then that one time that it does, it's a huge relief.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and doing, well, the early sword was nice as well, and the boots in Sanctuary, I barely see that these days.
Yeah, that was a remarkable way to start things off.
It was basically bound to become a speed seed. Except, it gives you everything that you need for a long time, and then there's like one item that you need for, like for example with me, Quake, being in Agatha Tower.
Yeah, that is the downside of such a generous seed.
That's a generous seed. Generally make me more nervous than comfortable, simply because I know that that one item is in one of the 40 other locations I can possibly check, which are all all far away. Like I was refusing to go back into pod at that time because I had 4 keys or something. Like I could go back, but the chance of it having like the 2 remaining chests was a bit too. Wasn't really worth it at that time. Considering I had Swamp Palace, like how many, like 10 or 11 chests.
Yeah, we saw that a lot with everyone, kind of trying to dodge a dungeon here and there. It's like you get the sense they think it's about ready, but is it really ready? And would I be better off going somewhere else? And there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of problems with this seed where you kind of have to face that.
Yeah, I wanted to go into part like when I got the big key so I could actually finish it, but like then also that warning popped back in with the soft lock. So I just held up, like just stopped doing that for a little bit again.
Indeed, smart move just to make sure there were no kind of curveballs at the end there. I don't think the potential there was there for it towards the end, but still a smart move in general just to eliminate that possibility.
Curveballs. Oh, there was a curveball.
And with that, we're joined by Solski. How's it going, man?
Hey,
Where was that Skullwoods key again? The big key. How early did we get it?
Pretty early, I think.
It was very early, I believe, because you had walked by it early in the seed with the key.
I missed a key counting on my tracker, and I thought I collected it afterwards as a pod key, because I think I short one pod key that I didn't think I had. So I was like, oh, that was the key. No, it wasn't. I think I would have been go mode like 30 or 40-ish minutes sooner, probably. I don't know. It was pretty quick. Other than that,
What was your go mode item?
my Misery Mire big key that was in Skullwoods. Legitimately, my last check I can do.
It was quick for me.
Yeah, it was actually pretty interesting to see all 4 of you guys kind of had what the other one was missing. It was either Quake or Misery Mire big key, or another big key as well that one had but the other didn't. So yeah. It's very, very wonderful to watch just to see everyone kind of broke off in their own directions, overlapping each other, and then coming back when they finally had everything they needed.
Yeah, my go mode was hook shot, so I'm not sure exactly how else it was routed for everyone else.
Where was hook shot again?
It was Desert Torch. It was pretty early for me.
Was around an hour for me, and the thing that threw me off at some point is I basically clicked on all the dungeons to have the remaining crystal/pendants because I had 3 pendants tracked already, and then I think I did desert and I saw the crystal drop, which completely threw me off.
Yeah, the way I ended up routing it, I didn't have the big key for Thieves Town, and with the flute in there, I just never really went to desert until I just had it really late. So I guess it was a good thing, honestly, the way it routed, but not having the hook shot was kind of frustrating, especially in like Ice Palace, because I messed up the bomb jump to get back over to the big chest twice and had to dip back in for the fire run.
Ouch.
Yeah, I do believe most of you made the play to sequence break Death Mountain, which got you into Hera early because you had Mirror, but I think the logic was expecting you to go to Pod to pick up the lamp and then return back, because I think you also got the Hera small key, which took you to Thieves Town, and so on from there.
Yeah, it also didn't help for Zelga that the book was also in Swamp Palace.
Oh, okay. See, I actually didn't go into Swamp until I was in Go mode, so the only thing I checked in there was what Argus had.
Yeah, I was opting between going for Swamp Palace or just check Agathar real fast. Which Agathar ending up being my Go mode. how quickly did we get the Dark World access? Like 10 minutes in or something?
It's
I think it was 5.
Yeah, it was more like 5 minutes, 6 minutes that you all ended up having Dark World access.
It was really fast. But then you just get the problem, like, do I go Dark World and come back later, or just check the remaining locations?
Yeah, I was kind of talking about that before everyone else got in. It's just I went to Dark World literally immediately after Kakariko, and so I did like Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town Front 4, and all those items just pouring in. It's like I literally have no idea where to go now because I have everything.
Yeah, I was pausing quite a bit as well, like just simply trying to think what was going on.
I'm just gonna keep quiet.
Still a great time though for Keysanity. I mean, 2 hours 50 minutes, still really good for what's typically a troll seed or a troll category.
I think the big indication I knew I did something wrong is when Zelga finished, and I was just heading to, I want to say it was Desert Small Chests, and I was like, what? What did I miss?
I just entered Go mode when I saw Saga finish.
Yeah, at first I thought it was the Fat Fairy chests, because I was like, oh, I forgot those. And then it was like, no. Figured it could have been Pedestal, but that would have been a long shot. And then, sure enough, yeah, I finally remembered after I did everything. It was fun.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to run around aimlessly before you actually find something again. Or you finally remember what you needed to remember for no reason.
Yeah, that's 175 to 216 checks, by the way. I wasn't kidding.
But yeah, Zaga's the only one with sub-2 time, though.
I still don't understand it, to be honest. Like, just there's no way that should have been, but I just got lucky with basically the exact route.
I thought I had quite a decent routing, except, yeah, could have had to go mode like way earlier. Like, like at first, when I forgot what I think I had Eastern Palace, so I didn't have the big key yet. So I was thinking, like, please just give me Quake and big key for Eastern, so I can actually finish then go mode.
Yeah, this one was a tricky one to route, getting all those items so early on. As Zelga was saying, you don't really get a sense of direction for it. It's not like the kind of seeds where you're not getting a lot of progression items, but you're getting a very direct route. Like the game is telling you, go here next.
Yeah, and then of course, I think most of us just straight up did fake flippers everywhere and just went Death Mountain early. Since we all had, since the hammer was also pretty early. Like it was a race game, right?
Yeah, hammer was race game.
Yeah, so basically was just waiting for either mirror or hook shot to open up Death Mountain completely. Which where was the mirror was Sea House, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right, so I think we are about to wrap up. Although I don't know that we have another run on this channel scheduled, or at least not until fairly later. I'm kind of saying that and asking that at the same time.
I do believe at 11 p.m. Eastern there will be a tournament match here on Speed Gaming, but between now and then there is races just all over the place, so check out Speed Gaming 4 and 3 for a couple of matches going on there, and I do believe at 9:30 we have one on Link to the Past for Randomizer 2, so there is a schedule available, so there's matches all whenever you need them.
Yep, I'm seeing one at 9:30 at Link to the Past Randomizer 2 between Aces High 76 and Really Dragon, along with Demon RHK and Zelnus. Then one at 10 p.m. on Speed Gaming 4, In the Name of DT versus Sabotender, and he's Just a Boy versus JLo7. And currently running over at Speed Gaming 3, there's Number Play versus Maximum Barnage, and Wef Jepster versus Buckshot Boo 24. Links Past Randomizer 1 has Kova 46 versus Tear, and Randomania 3 has Runner Watcher and Jex Ruffy. So there is plenty going on at the moment and for the rest of the evening.
And for the rest of the month, really. So, so it's going to be a nice winter run of Keysanity Tournament. So strap yourself in and enjoy Keysanity, because it's a wonderful mode. Do you guys have any final words as we sort of wrap up this show?
Reverse fire bat.
For me, it's just GG's to everyone involved in this race, and not just the runners, the commentary, the restream, the trackers. I'm sure, especially in a Keysanity, the trackers got a lot of stuff to deal with. So really appreciate everything going into this.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give another big thanks to Walter 4 and Nifboy. Give them a follow. They did an incredible job keeping up with all of the action that was happening on this seed that was so generous to our runners.
Yeah, shout out to the commentators, trackers, everyone involved in the tournament. Also, big shout out to Act the Boker. I dedicate this run to him because I full cleared the seed. So, thanks, guys.
Right, and with that, we leave it to whoever is running the channel. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you, runners. Thank you, trackers, everybody. And have a good evening, and may the seeds be kind to you.
See you guys.